Good morning, children. Yesterday we have discussed about the parts present in the mouth and also how many types of teeth are present in human beings. So just we will recall two set of teeth are present in the human beings. One is temporary teeth, another one is permanent teeth. Whereas in place of temporary teeth, permanent teeth will be replaced. Temporary teeth number is 20, whereas permanent teeth is 32 in number. The third molar teeth called wisdom teeth will be developed at the age of 21 years. And this we have seen and how we have seen this the structure, how the teeth are located in the jaws. The teeth which are fixed in the socket of jaws we called as thecodont. In a life cycle of human beings, two set of teeth is present that is called diphyodont. So thecodont, diphyodont, another one is heterodont because different types of teeth like incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So four types of teeth are present and we have seen the number also. So yesterday I was saying about some of the organisms teeth are lacking. So which organisms teeth are absent? Teeth are absent in hippocampus, tortoise, birds and anteaters. In these organisms teeth are absent. And another example also I have said about frog. Frog has teeth, but teeth are present only in the upper jaw. Whereas in which jaw teeth is absent for the amphibians, that is in frog, in the lower jaw. So teeth are absent in the lower jaw, whereas teeth are present only in the upper jaw of the frog. And another one is elephant tusk we have seen. Elephant tusk is nothing but teeth. In Telugu we will call dantalu. So elephant teeth is nothing but the modified incisors. Incisors, modified incisors. The incisors are modified into a tusk-like structure in elephant. So that is about the types of teeth and how different organisms have different kinds of teeth. Some organisms they have same type of teeth. In the life cycle, some organisms will be having only one set of teeth throughout the lifetime. So like this we have seen yesterday. All the examples, whatever comes, now we will see about the structure of tooth. Structure of tooth in human beings. So if you see the structure of tooth, the tooth consists of three parts. Tooth consists of three parts. The first part is called crown. Second part is called neck. Second part is called neck, whereas the third one is called a root. So teeth, the structure of tooth. Tooth consists of three parts. The outermost part, or we can say, teeth is the exposed part. Teeth is the exposed part or the outer part. Exposed part of the teeth is called crown. The second one is middle part is called the neck. Middle part of the tooth is called neck. Inner part which is present in the socket of jawbone. Socket of jawbone, that teeth is called root. So tooth consists of three parts. One is crown, neck and root. The outer exposed part is called crown. The middle part which is present in the gums. The middle part which is present in the gums. That part is called neck. The root part is the inner part which is located in the socket of jawbone. So these are the two parts which are present, which are the structure of, which are as a structure of a tooth. So if you see the structure of tooth, the structure of tooth we can say it consists of, already I have said it consists of three parts. So what are the three parts present in the tooth is, here we can see, if you see the structure of tooth, the exposed part which is present, this part we can call as crown. This part we can call as a crown. The exposed part which is outside. Even if we touch our teeth also we can see the exposed part which is outside, that is the crown. The part which is present in the gums, which is present in the gums or the middle part of the tooth, that is the neck. The middle part of the tooth is neck. The inner part which is present in the socket of jawbone is a root, which is present in the socket of jawbone is a root. So tooth consists of three parts. The three parts are crown, neck, and a root. Tooth is made up of with a substance called dentine. Tooth is made up of with a substance called dentine. Dentine is secreted. The dentine is secreted by odontoblast. Odontoblast. Dentine is secreted by odontoblast, which is mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal in origin. Already I have said when we are speaking about the teeth, teeth are ectomesodermal in origin, I have said. So teeth is made up of with a substance called dentine. So this dentine is secreted by odontoblast. Odontoblasts are nothing but the cells. So dentine is secreted by odontoblast, which is mesodermal in origin. Which is mesodermal in origin. Dentine is lined by a substance called enamel. Dentine is lined by a substance called enamel. Enamel is the hardest part in the body. Hardest part in the human body. Which is the hardest part in the human body? Enamel. Teeth is made up of with a substance called dentine. Dentine is secreted by, very important bit children. Dentine is the substance. Tooth is made up of with a substance called dentine. Dentine is secreted by odontoblast. Dentine is secreted by odontoblast. Or we can say the origin of odontoblast is mesoderm. Mesoderm is the origin of odontoblast, whereas dentine is secreted by odontoblast. Then comes to the next. This dentine is made up of or is covered with a substance called, dentine is covered with a substance called enamel. Enamel, see our teeth are white in color. Teeth are white in color only because of teeth are lined or made up of. Dentine is made up of or covered with enamel. So teeth appears to be white is only because dentine is covered with enamel. Enamel is the hardest part in the human body. We may think that bone is the hardest part. Even bone is the hardest part, but more than the bone, which is the hardest part in the body is enamel. So which is the hardest part in the bone? Enamel is the hardest part. So this enamel is secreted by amyloblast. Enamel is secreted by amyloblast. Enamel is secreted by amyloblast. Don't get confused. Dentine is secreted by odontoblast. Enamel is secreted by amyloblast. The enamel is secreted by amyloblast, which is ectodermal in origin. Ectodermal in origin. Ectodermal in origin. The tooth consists of a cavity called pulp cavity. Tooth consists of a cavity called pulp cavity. So that is inside the root. In the tooth, a cavity is present. That cavity is called pulp cavity. So the cavity present in the tooth is called pulp cavity. This pulp cavity is filled with the pulp. Pulp cavity is filled with the pulp. Inside the pulp cavity, that is inside the pulp cavity is lined with, the pulp cavity is lined with periodontal membrane. Periodontal membrane. Periodontal membrane. So the pulp cavity Inside the tooth consists of a cavity called pulp cavity. Pulp cavity is filled with pulp which is present inside the root, or we can say pulp cavity is lined with periodontal membrane. So what is the membrane which is lining the pulp cavity? Periodontal membrane is the membrane which lines the pulp cavity. And also, if you see this, the root is lined with, or the root which is the tooth which is fixed in the socket of jawbone is lined with a substance called, lined with a substance called cementum. Is lined with a substance called cementum, or we can say amyloblast cells also we can say. So it is lined with a substance called cementum. And the tooth which is present here inside the pulp cavity, we can see the blood vessels, and also we can see the blood vessels as well as the nerves are present inside the tooth. So this is the structure of a tooth. Once again, children, tooth, if you see the structure of tooth, tooth consists of three parts. The outer exposed part called crown, the middle part which is present in the gums is called neck, and the part which is present or located in the socket of jawbone is called root. Teeth is made up of with a hard substance called dentine. And teeth is dentine is secreted by odontoblast, which is mesodermal in origin. Teeth is lined, or the dentine is covered with a hard substance called enamel. Enamel is secreted by ameloblast, whereas which is ectodermal in origin. So inside the tooth, a cavity is present. That cavity is called pulp cavity. Pulp cavity is filled with pulp, and this pulp cavity is lined with a periodontal membrane, whereas the root is covered with a substance called cementum. So inside the pulp cavity, we can see the blood vessels as well as nerves also are present. So this is the structure of a tooth. Now we will see what is the other part. Already we have seen the buccal cavity or oral cavity consists of two parts. One is tooth, teeth, another one is the tongue. So the next part present in the buccal cavity is a tongue. So the next part present in the buccal cavity is a tongue. Tongue. Tongue is a freely movable muscular sense organ. Tongue is a freely movable, freely movable muscular sense organ, muscular sense organ, which is located in the buccal cavity, or which is located or fixed in the oral cavity. Teeth is a freely, because it is the organ which can be moved freely. Movable, can be movable in all the directions. Muscular, which is made up of with muscle, and a sense organ, because sense organ is nothing but a, it is which helps for the detection of taste. So it is a freely movable muscular sense organ. We said teeth is, this tongue is present inside the oral cavity. So this tongue is fixed in the oral cavity with the help of a membrane or a fold of a membrane called frenulum. That is a frenulum. Frenulum is a membrane which helps the tongue to attach in the oral cavity. So the posterior part of the tongue is fixed in the oral cavity with a fold of membrane called frenulum. What is meant by frenulum? Frenulum is a membrane which helps the tongue to attach to the floor of the oral cavity. So which side the tongue is attached? Anterior side it is freely movable, whereas the posterior side it is fixed to the oral cavity. So the tongue consists of papillae on the surface of the tongue. The surface of the tongue consists of papillae. The surface of the tongue consists of papillae. So papillae consists of taste buds. Papillae consists of taste buds. So the surface of the tongue consists of papillae, we said. So what is present inside the papillae? Taste buds are present in the papillae. So tongue is having mainly three parts. So we can divide tongue into three parts basing on the papillae. So basing on the papillae present, tongue is divided into three parts. So what are the three parts of the tongue? The three parts of the tongue are fungiform papillae, fungiform papillae, fungiform papillae, and the next one is filiform papillae, filiform papillae, and the third one is circumvallate papillae, circumvallate papillae, circumvallate papillae. Surface of the tongue is covered with papillae. Papillae consists of the taste buds. These papillae, basing on the location of the papillae, tongue is divided into three parts. Tongue is not divided. The papillae which are spread on the surface of the tongue, the papillae are of three parts. So what are the papillae basing on their location is fungiform papillae, filiform papillae, and circumvallate papillae. So if you see where are these locations and where they are present, where these are present if you see. So if you see the structure of tongue, the structure of tongue we can say this is the anterior part. This is the anterior part of the tongue. So when we see the anterior part of the anterior part of the tongue consists of fungiform papillae. Fungiform papillae are present at the tip of the tongue. Fungiform papillae are present at the tip of the tongue, whereas at the edges or on the sides, on both the sides of the tongue, we can see filiform papillae. Filiform papillae are present on the lateral sides of the tongue, that is on both the sides of the tongue, we can say filiform papillae, whereas at the posterior side of the tongue consists of circumvallate papillae. Circumvallate papillae. Circumvallate papillae are present. So basing on the location, papillae are of three types: fungiform papillae, filiform papillae, circumvallate papillae. Fungiform papillae are present at the tip of the tongue on either side, that is on either side of the tongue. Filiform papillae are present, and at the posterior edge of this tongue, we can see on the posterior surface of the tongue consists of circumvallate papillae. So these are the three papillae which are present on the tongue, and we can see this already we have said that even taste buds are present in the papillae. So how many taste buds are present in the papillae is there are four types of taste buds. Four types of taste buds are present in the tongue. How many types of taste buds are there? Four types of taste buds are present on the tongue. What are the four types of taste buds is sweet, sweet, salt, sour, another one is bitter. Another one is bitter. These are the four types of taste buds which are spreading on the surface of the tongue. So what are the four taste buds spreading on the surface of the tongue? Sweet, salt, sour, and bitter. So where is sweet? Sweet is present at the tip of the tongue. Sweet, the taste buds which identifies or which detects the sweet is present at the anterior tip of the tongue. Then we see the salt is present on the surface, that is above the sweet. Above the sweet means on the surface of the tongue, on the surface of the tongue, that is towards the sour taste is present on the lateral side, on the lateral sides of the tongue, on the lateral or either side of the tongue. Bitter is present towards the posterior, posterior part of the tongue, posterior part of the tongue. So now you will see where is the location. So if you see the location, this anterior tip consists of sweet. So the taste buds which detect sweet are present at the tip of the tongue. So above the sweet, that is on the surface, we can see salt taste. So the taste buds which detect salty nature, that taste buds are present on the surface of the tongue that is above the sweet taste. So the lateral sides, that is in the filiform, that is the lateral sides of the tongue can detect sour taste, can detect the sour taste. Sour is nothing but pulupu, sour taste. So this taste buds are present on the lateral side, that is on either side of the tongue. So near to the circumvallate, on the posterior side, we can see the bitter taste. The taste buds which detect bitter taste are present on the posterior part of the tongue. And one more children, another taste also is there, but still it is not published in the books. That taste is called umami. That taste is called umami is the taste which is not published in the books. But even it is also one of the taste which was identified by the scientist. So this how will be the taste of this umami means? See mostly this China people are using this umami that we call in India as the tasting salt. So how the tasting salt, the taste of the tasting salt, the same way even umami also will be like this. So this is the fifth taste which has been identified by the scientist. If you see what are the functions of the tongue. If you see the functions of the tongue, main function of the tongue is taste. The main function of the tongue is taste. Another one is it helps for speaking. We are able to speak is only because of the tongue. So tongue, with the help of tongue, we are able to speak. Another one is tongue is known as universal toothbrush. Tongue is known as universal toothbrush. Which is known as universal toothbrush? Tongue is known as universal toothbrush. Another one is it helps for the deglutition. Deglutition is nothing but a which helps for swallowing the food particles. Swallowing for the food particles. So even that is one of the function of this one. So this is about a tongue. Tongue is a freely movable muscular sense organ which is fixed to the oral cavity or buccal cavity with the help of a fold of membrane called peritoneum or a frenulum. Frenulum is the membrane which attaches to the oral cavity. So tongue is tongue on the surface of the tongue we can see a small minute structures called papillae. This papillae has the taste bud. Basing on the location, the papillae are of three types. What are the three types of papillae is fungiform papillae, filiform papillae, and circumvallate papillae. Fungiform papillae are present at the anterior tip of the tongue. Above to this, that is on either side, lateral side, we can say filiform. Posterior part of the tongue bears the circumvallate papillae. And also, tongue consists of four kinds of taste buds. The four kinds of taste buds of the tongue are sweet, salt, sweet, sour, and bitter. These are the four tastes where the tongue can be identified. So these taste buds are present in different locations on the surface of the tongue. If you see at the tip of the tongue, sweet taste buds are present. Above to the anterior part or tip of the tongue, we can see the taste buds of salt, which identifies salty nature. And on either side of the, that is on the surface of the tongue, on either sides of the tongue, we can see the taste buds which can identify sour taste. At the posterior part of the tongue, the taste buds which are present are bitter. But we feel this, we can, another one more we have to say about that is chili powder. Chili powder are which gives the burning sensation. Here, chili, that chili powder are that is not a separate taste. But why we are feeling it as a taste is because of this because of that nature, when we are using the chili powder in the food materials, it gives a burning sensation for the tongue. That burning sensation only comes to the tongue, but it is actually chili is not a taste located on the tongue. But one more taste has been detected by the scientists. That taste is called umami. Umami taste is the fifth taste which is present. Even that umami taste buds are located on the tongue. So this taste bud is nothing but it is located on the surface of the tongue. Umami taste bud is located on the surface of the tongue. So how the taste of umami means, taste of umami looks like a tasting salt which we are using. So if you see the functions of the tongue, the main function of the tongue is it is a sense organ which detects different kinds of taste. Another one is it is known as universal toothbrush. We are able to speak is only because of the tongue, because the tongue helps us for speaking. Another one is for the swallowing, or we can call as deglutition. A deglutition of swallowing the food materials, which is helping is tongue only helps us to swallow the food materials. Another one is when we are chewing the food also, tongue only helps us for mixing the food with saliva. So these are the different functions of a tongue. So the next part is pharynx. The next part of digestive system, human digestive system, is the pharynx. The next part is the pharynx. Oral cavity. Oral cavity leads to oral cavity, or buccal cavity leads to pharynx. Oral cavity or buccal cavity leads to pharynx. Pharynx is a short funnel-like chamber. Pharynx is a short funnel-like chamber, funnel-like muscular chamber. The pharynx is a it is a common junction for food and air passage. Pharynx is a common junction for food and air passage. So basing on the pellet, already we have seen when we are speaking about oral cavity or buccal cavity. What is pellet? Pellet is a soft tissue which is present in the posterior part of the oral cavity. So this pellet, basing on the pellet, this pharynx is divided into three parts. Basing on the pellet, pharynx is divided into three parts. So what are the three parts the pharynx is having? Pharynx is divided into three parts. The three parts of pharynx are nasopharynx, nasopharynx. Next one is oropharynx, nasopharynx, oropharynx. Another one is laryngopharynx, laryngopharynx, laryngopharynx. So these are the three parts located in the pharynx: nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. If you see nasopharynx, nasopharynx is present above the soft palate. above the soft pellet, near to the above the soft pellet, near to the internal nostrils, near to the internal nostrils. So pharynx, oral cavity or buccal cavity leads to the next part called pharynx. Pharynx is a short muscular chamber which is a funnel shaped in structure. It is a common passage for both food and air. And this pellet is present basing on the pellet present in the pharynx. Pharynx is divided of three parts. What are the three parts? Nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx is present above the soft pellet that is near to the internal nostrils. When we see the oropharynx, oropharynx is present in the middle of the pharynx. Middle part of the pharynx is called oropharynx. Middle part of the pharynx is called oropharynx. Above the soft pellet is called nasopharynx. And the last part that is below the soft pellet, that part is called laryngopharynx. That part is called laryngopharynx. Whereas already I have said a common junction for food and air passage is pharynx. Food and air passage is pharynx, I have said. So this both. So which is the passage of food? Esophagus. Food passes through esophagus, whereas air passes through trachea. Food passes. Food passes through esophagus. Food passes through esophagus, whereas air passes through trachea. Air passes through trachea. Now, esophagus, which we are calling as food pipe, then trachea, or which we are calling as air pipe. These both are common food which meet in the pharynx. So that is esophagus and trachea both meet together in the pharynx, through which they enter means that is esophagus. Another one is trachea. Esophagus and trachea opens into laryngopharynx. Opens into laryngopharynx. So laryngopharynx is nothing but a part in the pharynx only. But whereas esophagus and trachea both opens into a common pipe or common tube called laryngopharynx. Whereas trachea, if you see trachea opens, trachea opens into laryngopharynx through glottis. Important big children. Trachea opens into laryngopharynx through glottis. Esophagus as well as trachea both opens into laryngopharynx. But trachea opens into the laryngopharynx through glottis. Through glottis. Here on the glottis, we can see a flap-like structure. Flap is nothing but a covering, or we can call as the lid. A flap-like structure or a lid-like structure called epiglottis, which we will call as a epiglottis. Epiglottis is a flap-like structure or a lid-like structure which covers the glottis. What is the main function of here epiglottis? Epiglottis prevents the entry of food. Prevents the entry of food. Prevents the entry of food particles into the windpipe. So what is the main function of epiglottis? Epiglottis prevents the entry of food particles into the trachea. Why? Trachea is the air pipe or windpipe, but food must enter only through the food pipe called esophagus. In case, unfortunately, while eating, if food enters to trachea, the epiglottis, that is the flap-like structure called epiglottis, prevents the entry of food particles and pushes the food particles. When the food particles are pushed up with the help of this windpipe, we get some kind of irritation, which we call as that you will call sometimes that while eating food, this comes out. comes out along with the nose. Water as well as the food particles comes out. So it prevents the entry of food particles. This is about the pharynx. And here in the pharynx we can say some lymphoid tissues are present. So how the pharynx is divided into three parts? Same way, the pharynx consists of lymphoid tissues. Pharynx consists of lymphoid tissues. Lymphoid tissues or we can call as adenoids. Lymphoid tissues or we can call as adenoids, or other word we can call as tonsils also. Tonsils. So pharynx consists of lymphoid tissues. Lymphoid tissues are we can call as adenoids or tonsils. Tonsils or adenoids are nothing but a modified lymphoid tissue. What are tonsils? Tonsils are located in the pharynx, which are the modified lymphoid tissues. So, basing on the locations, here also we have three types of tonsils. Three types of lymphoid tissues are there. So, how many kinds of lymphoid tissues are there? Three types of lymphoid tissues. What are the three types of lymphoid tissues means? The first one is the first tonsil is pharyngeal tonsil, pharyngeal tonsil, pharyngeal tonsil, and the second one is palatine tonsil, palatine tonsil, palatine tonsil, and the third one is lingual tonsil. Third one is lingual tonsil. So these are the three types of tonsils. Now we will see what is the location and where they are present. If you see the pharyngeal tonsils are present in nasopharynx. Nasopharynx. Pharyngeal tonsils are present in nasopharynx. So how many kinds of tonsils are there? What are tonsils? Tonsils are the modified lymphoid tissues which are present in the pharynx. So basing on their location, these tonsils are of three types. What are the three types of tonsils? Lymphoid tonsils, pharyngeal tonsils. Lymphoid tonsils are nothing but the modified, or we can call as adenoids or tonsils. So these tonsils are of three types: pharyngeal tonsils, palatine tonsils. Another one is lingual tonsils. Pharyngeal tonsils are present in nasopharynx. Already we have seen where is nasopharynx. The nasopharynx is nothing but which is above the soft palate. So in that location, we can see pharyngeal tonsils. Pharyngeal tonsils are present in nasopharynx. If you see the palatine tonsils are present in a oropharynx, that is in the middle of the present in the middle of the pharynx. Lingual tonsils are present in the laryngotonsils. Laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx. Lingual tonsils are present in the laryngotonsils. So if you see, just if you see the mouth or if you see the pharynx, which we are calling as a funnel shaped structure, which we are calling as a funnel shaped pharynx. So that is above this the structure of tonsils. This is pharyngeal tonsils, pharyngeal tonsils, pharyngeal tonsils which are present in the nasopharynx. That is in the middle we can see, in the middle we can see the pharyngeal, that is palatine tonsils. Palatine tonsils are present, palatine tonsils are present in the oropharynx. Whereas if you see the lingual, that is in the lower part means lingual pharynx, we can see the laryngopharynx. In laryngopharynx, we can see lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils. So these are the tonsils which are present in a different types of location in the different types of locations in the pharynx. So pharyngeal tonsils are present in the nasopharynx. Palatine tonsils are present in the oropharynx. Then lingual tonsils are present in laryngopharynx. So if you see the pharyngeal tonsils, then the swelling of pharyngeal tonsils occurs. Mostly tonsils occurs for the children, that is for the small children, below 12 years children. So if the pharyngeal enlarges in size or swells, the child feels difficult in breathing. So if the child is difficult in breathing, that is nothing but the pharyngeal tonsils. When the pharyngeal tonsils enlarges, we have to identify that child is suffering from pharyngeal tonsils and he feels difficulty in breathing. So that is the condition when pharyngeal tonsils enlarges or swells, feels difficulty in breathing. Difficulty in breathing. Another one is palatine tonsils. Palatine tonsils, we said they are present in the middle of the pharynx, that is in the oropharynx. So if this palatine tonsils swells, that we are calling as tonsils or adenoids, and even the child is very difficult in swallowing and breathing, both occurs, that is difficult in swallowing. This will be removed by the surgery, that is a small surgery which they remove this palatine tonsils. Another one is lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils occurs in the laryngopharynx, are present in the laryngopharynx. Even swallowing food particles also is very difficult, and the swelling of lingual tonsils occurs, and the child will not be able to open his mouth broadly also. These are the parts in the pharynx. Once again, children, pharynx, the oral cavity leads to the next part called pharynx. Pharynx is a short funnel-shaped chamber which is present soon after the oral cavity. Pharynx is a common chamber for both food as well as air passage. Food travels through esophagus, whereas air passes through the trachea. So this pharynx is divided into three parts basing on the pellet. Pellet is nothing but a soft pellet. So soft pellet are which we call as a ula. So that is three parts. It is nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx is present above the soft pellet. Oropharynx is present in the middle of the pharynx, whereas laryngopharynx is present below the soft pellet. So in these locations only we can see this both esophagus as well as trachea, both the both occurs are opens into the same common chamber. So here this esophagus as well as trachea, esophagus is the food pipe, trachea is the windpipe. Both the food pipe and windpipe together opens into the pharynx by the common duct. That is opens into a common chamber called laryngopharynx. But whereas trachea opens into the glottis, opens through the glottis by the help of laryngopharynx. Trachea opens into the trachea opens into the laryngopharynx with the help of glottis. On the glottis, we can see a flap-like structure called epiglottis. This epiglottis prevents the entry of food particles into the windpipe, or we can call as a trachea. Inside the pharynx, three kinds of tissues are there. Tissues are we can call as tonsils or we can call as adenoids also. So these adenoids or tonsils are modified lymphoid tissue. So three types of tonsils are there. The three types of tonsils are pharyngeal tonsils, palatine tonsils, another one is lingual tonsils. Pharyngeal tonsils are present in the nasopharynx. If pharyngeal tonsils swells, the child faces difficulty in breathing. Or another next second one is palatine tonsils. Palatine tonsils are present in the middle of the pharynx. Whereas if this swells or enlarges in size, the child cannot swallow the food particles. The third one is the lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils are present below the soft palate, or we can say that these are present in the laryngopharynx. And if this swells also, the child cannot speak properly or open the mouth properly, as well as we can say it is very difficult for swallowing the food particles. So these are the parts present in a pharynx. So the next part in after pharynx is esophagus. So why we are not speaking about trachea? Trachea is the windpipe. But here we are seeing only about the digestive system of human being. So digestive system of human being, the next part of digestive system of human being is pharynx leads to the next chamber called esophagus. So the next chamber is esophagus. So the next part is esophagus. So esophagus thin, is a thin, long, muscular tube. It's a thin, long, muscular tube. The pharynx leads to the next part called esophagus. Esophagus is a thin, long, muscular tube. So this tube starts from neck, pharynx, neck, then chest, or we can call as thorax also we can call children, chest cavity or thorax, and through diaphragm, it pierces through diaphragm and enters into the stomach that is abdominal part. Enters into the stomach is the abdominal part. Esophagus is a thin, long, muscular tube which starts from pharynx, that is from the neck region, travels through the chest region or thoracic region, and it pierces through the diaphragm and enters into the stomach. So it is made up of with two types of muscles. Esophagus is made up of with two types of muscles. What are the two types of muscles is striped muscles and striped muscles. Striped muscles and smooth muscles. Striped muscles and smooth muscles. Esophagus is made up of with two kinds of muscles. What are the two kinds of muscles are striped muscles and smooth muscles. Striped muscles are present where the pharynx enters as esophagus. So at the junction of pharynx and esophagus, the muscles present are striped muscles. So striped muscles are present at the junction of pharynx and esophagus. Pharynx and esophagus. At the junction of pharynx and esophagus. Whereas smooth muscles are present at the junction of esophagus and esophagus. Esophagus while entering into the stomach. Esophagus while entering into the stomach. So that muscles are smooth muscles. So esophagus has two kinds of muscles. Striped muscles. Striped muscles are present at the junction where pharynx enters as esophagus. Smooth muscles are present at the junction where esophagus enters into the stomach. So here, when two types of muscles are present, two kinds of sphincters are present. So what are the two types of sphincter is? At the junction of pharynx and esophagus, the sphincter present is called esophageal sphincter. Esophageal sphincter. Esophageal sphincter. Esophageal sphincter is present. Esophageal sphincter is present. Whereas at the junction of smooth muscles, that is esophagus and stomach, esophageal, that is gastroesophageal sphincter. Gastroesophageal sphincter is present. Gastroesophageal sphincter is present. So these are the two sphincters present in the esophagus. And one more function is no gastric glands are present. No gastric glands. No gastric glands are present. No gastric glands are present. That means no function in the digestive system. Esophagus has no function in the digestive system. Just it is a tube which connects from mouth to the stomach. A small tube which connects or which allows the passage of food from mouth to the stomach. So no gastric glands are present, but internal it is lined with mucous membrane. Esophagus is lined with a mucous membrane. What is the main function of mucous membrane? Mucous membrane helps the easy passage of the food, or we can say esophagus, which is lined with mucous membrane, helps the food particles to run smoothly in the esophagus till the stomach. So this is the function of esophagus. So esophagus is a thin muscular tube which connects from pharynx to the stomach. It travels from neck, next it travels to the chest region or thoracic cavity, and through diaphragm it pierces into the stomach. So it is having two kinds of muscles, striped muscles and smooth muscle. Striped muscles is present at the junction of pharynx and esophagus. Smooth muscles are present at the junction of esophagus and the stomach. In the middle of the esophagus, both striped as well as smooth muscles are present, because esophagus is a longitudinal tube which runs through all these parts, that is neck, chest, diaphragm into the stomach. So in the middle it is made up of the longitudinal muscles, where it consists of both striped muscles as well as smooth muscles. So this pharynx, the esophagus consists of two kinds of sphincters. The two kinds of sphincters are gastrointestinal sphincters, which prevents the food particle suddenly falling of a food particle into the stomach. No gastric glands are present in the stomach. Just it is a connection or a pipe which allows the food particles to pass through it. Another one is esophagus is lined with the mucous membrane. The main function of mucous membrane is that it helps the food particles to run smoothly in the esophagus. So these are the functions for a function of a esophagus. The next one is stomach. The next part in digestive system is stomach. The next part in a digestive system is the stomach. So esophagus leads to the stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped. Stomach is a J-shaped bag-like, distensible, 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 distensible structure, distensible structure, distensible structure. So, stomach is esophagus leads to the next part called stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped bag-like structure, bag-like, distensible sac-like structure. Why we are calling as distensible? Distensible is nothing but how much food we take. Also, stomach has the nature of extending, or we can say elaborating. So, distensible is the structure which can elaborate or extend or elaborate, or we can say like rubber-like. So which can extend or which can expand. So that structure we will call as a distensible sac. So this stomach location, if you see, stomach is present towards the left upper abdominal portion. Left upper abdominal portion. Abdominal, left upper abdominal position. So stomach is located towards the left upper abdominal position. So if you say the structure of stomach, stomach consists of three parts. Stomach consists of three parts. What are the three parts present in the stomach is the three parts present in the stomach. So the stomach has three parts. The three parts in the stomach is cardiac stomach, cardiac stomach, cardiac stomach. Another one is fundus, fundus, and the third one is pyloric stomach, pyloric stomach, pyloric stomach. The stomach consists of three parts. Stomach consists of three parts. The three parts of the stomach are cardiac stomach, and another one is a fundus or main body, we can say. Fundus, and the last one is pyloric stomach. Pyloric stomach. So where is cardiac stomach? Cardiac stomach is the upper part of the stomach which is present near to the heart, at the upper part of the stomach, or the part where esophagus connects with the stomach. So near to that part, the part which is present near to the heart, cardiac, or we can call as a cardiac, or we can call as a the part of the stomach which is present near to the heart at the junction between esophagus and the stomach. That part we will call as cardiac stomach. Here this cardiac stomach is guarded by cardiac sphincter. Cardiac sphincter, the sphincter which is present between esophagus and cardiac sphincter. Esophagus and stomach, that sphincter is called cardiac stomach.